Hihikayatin naman ng Makabayan Bloc sa Kamara na bumoto ang mga kongresista para ipawalang bisa ang deklarasyon ng martial law sa Mindanao. Ito ang balita ni Joyce Balancho.
Never again, never again,
never again to martial law.
Haharangin ng makakaliwang Makabayan Bloc sa Kamara ang pagpapatupad ng martial law sa Mindanao. Ayon kay Anak Pawis Representative Ariel Casilaw, hihikayatin nila ang mga kapwa-kongresista na manindigan kontra batas militar na ayon sa kanila posibleng maging daan sa mas maraming human rights abuses.
Tatayuan po, titindigan po yan ng Makabayan, tatanungin, questionin, at mananawagan tayo ng rejection. No, vote of rejection for the martial law declaration.
Dagdag pa ni Congressman Casilaw, layunin ng martial law na labanan pa ang iba pang kritiko ng Pangulo at sinasakay lamang ang sitwasyon ng Mauti Group para isama ang iba pang rebelding grupo sa Mindanao.
Ginamit po ang kalagayan ng existence ng Mauti Group. Despite the existing peace negotiation between the CPP and PNDF, isasakay nila ang threat ng CPP and PNDF.
Aminado naman ang Makabayan Bloc na hindi magiging madali ang laban sa Kongreso, gayong karamihan ng mga mambabatas ay sumusuporta sa Pangulo at kung sakali mang mabigo sila, idadaan nila anya sa kilos protesta ang panawagan kontra dito. Ayon naman kay Kabayan Representative Harry Roque, walang dapat ikabahala pagdating sa human rights abuses sa batas militar. Aniya tanging ang privilege of writ of habeas corpus o ang pagpapahintulot ng warrantless arrest ang epektibo sa loob ng 60 araw at hindi naman suspendido ang ilang pribilehiyong pumoprotekta pa rin sa civil at political rights.
Illegal searches and seizure remain prohibited. During the suspension of the privilege of the writ, any person thus arrested or detained shall be judicially charged within 3 days. Otherwise, he shall be released.
Dagdag naman ni One Care Party List Representative Carlos Roman Oybareta at ako Bicol Party List Representative Rodel Batocabe, walang dapat ikatakot sa deklarasyon ng batas militar sa Mindanao.
We have more than enough safeguards and parameters na kung ano man yung experience natin before regarding sa martial law, the framers of the 1987 Constitution has put and have learned their lessons.
Instead of criticizing the president, let us keep our complete trust in him. Because kung iba naman po ang intensyon ng ating Pangulo, ang gusto niya maging diktador, mag-abuso, lalabas at lalabas rin po yan.
Sa Lunes, hihilingin ni House Majority Leader Congressman Rudy Fariñas na gawin sa isang executive session sa Kamara ang briefing na ibibigay na executive patungkol sa martial law. Sa closed-door meeting na ito na nakatakda sa Miyerkules, iimbitahan ang Executive Secretary, mga miyembro ng gabinete at kinatawan na Department of Interior and Local Government o DILG, Department of National Defense at iba pang ahensya. Hiwalay pa ito sa briefing ng Senado na gaganapin naman sa Lunes. Matapos ito, saka aaksyon ng Kongreso kung ire-revoke ba nila o i-extend ang deklarasyon ng martial law na ayon sa batas ay tatagal lang dapat ng 60 araw.
Political analyst and economist supports President Rodrigo Duterte's proclamation of martial law in Mindanao. According to former DepEd Undersecretary Antonio Valdez, President Duterte's move to declare martial law is what exactly needs to be done in order to address the threat of terrorism, which possibly stem from the government's effort on the fight against illegal drugs.
I presume that what the president is doing by instituting martial law in Mindanao, it may be a first step to be able to nip that growth in the bud. Because these terrorists are also manufacturing shabu.
Political analyst Herman Laurel and Celso Cainglet stressed that the acts of terrorism in Mindanao are likely to be part of the destabilization against the present administration.
Support authoritarian governance, at least for a period of time when we really stabilize our nation. Because we have to face the fact that there are destabilizing forces.
Many critics say that Marawi is just a piece of land in Mindanao. Why declare the whole region under martial law? Well, the people who are saying this definitely does not understand Mindanao.
Moreover, former diplomat Ado Paglinawan disagreed with Magdalo Representative Gary Alejano's statement that the president should have declared martial law only in Marawi City and not the entire Mindanao. He said that such declaration posed a cap to potential risk in the country against terrorism and other acts of invasion and rebellion. Meanwhile, economist George C. reiterated that martial law doesn't pose any threat in the business sector and trade because the country was able to maintain the Philippine growth momentum and good ties with neighboring countries.
It has nothing to do with authoritarian. It has to do with productivity, consistency of policy, and peace and order.
Furthermore, the public remains to be supportive of President Duterte's declaration of martial law, which is a big indicator that times are changing and people now have a more positive outlook with a controversial law.
Para sa akin po, okay lang po na nag-declare siya ng martial law doon para nga po maayos na rin po yung mga nangyayari po doon sa Mindanao, yung sa mga terorista po.
Pabor. Para sa kaligtasan ng mga kababayan nating sa Mindanao.
The Constitution provides that it is the duty of the government to secure public safety, especially those in direct exposure of armed conflicts. For PTV News, Trixie Jaafar.
Chief Presidential Legal Counsel Salvador Panelo says the public need not worry over the proclamation of martial law in Mindanao as the Constitution provides sufficient protection against any abuses. In a statement, Panelo said the public should not be alarmed by the President's proclamation because the Constitution itself provides ample safeguards to ensure the responsible implementation of martial law. He pointed out that the proclamation of martial law is limited to a period of 60 days. Panelo also said that Congress and the Supreme Court have the power to revoke the proclamation of martial law. Likewise, any citizen may require the Supreme Court to review the declaration of martial law in an appropriate proceeding. In the meantime, Panelo maintained that the president is justified in proclaiming martial law in Mindanao under the present circumstances.
Ikaw ang Pangulo para sa pagbabago.
Measures that will have to be undertaken to ensure that we are doing and going in that direction. Part of which is the establishment of checkpoints in all areas and the possible declaration of curfew hours in certain parts of Mindanao. These measures will be implemented because of the necessity for national security and the safety of the people. Such measures will be announced ahead of time, and that we encourage the public and ask them and request them to please extend your full cooperations to avoid any inconvenience. The AFP has not recommended the suspension of the freedom of expression, but will exercise the right to censure based on the following. 1, to ensure the safety of lives. 2, to ensure operational security and the safety of our own men in uniform who are fighting. And for other national security considerations. On account of the doubts that have been expressed by many quarters, we also appeal to the public that should you see abuses on the part of those implementing martial law, men in uniform who are tasked to do that, we encourage you to report them. And on our hand, we will provide you a swift probe and a quick action to ensure the accountability of our men. Finally, on this topic, while we maintain that martial law does not target peace-inclined groups, we will enforce the law uniformly such that all violators of the law, regardless of group affiliations, will be dealt with accordingly. Again, the very basis for the declaration was to establish law and order and the rule of law. In areas where this is apparently breaking down, we shall be very strict and we shall be very harsh for those who are committing acts of rebellion. Again, we would like to assure the public and request you to trust and appeal to you to trust the armed forces, your armed forces, that we will do everything in our capacity alongside the guidelines that have been set by the Constitution and the other guidelines that will be given to us, some of which have already been given by the Commander-in-Chief himself. And he said that we must guarantee that for our citizens who are law-abiding, this will not impede any of their activities, and that they must not fear any measures. So we will only apply the harshest stand against those committing acts of rebellion. In the implementation, may I also share with you that an organizational setup has been formed where we shall be under the Administrator of Martial Law, who is working directly with the Commander-in-Chief, and the designated Administrator of Martial Law is the Secretary of Defense, along with key advisors for specific parts of Mindanao, namely Eastern Mindanao and Western Mindanao. Under him will be a Deputy Martial Law Administrator who shall handle the operations, administrative, legal, public affairs, and logistics side of the administration of martial law. And directly under that will be the Chief of Staff, who will be the implementer of martial law, and under him, working with him, will be the Chief of the Philippine National Police. And if you will allow me, I'll just share with you that organizational set up for a clearer understanding.
We will be setting up, by the way, a separate page for...
We will provide you this, but for now, this is what I've been discussing.
You can take shots of it later. Okay.
So, underneath the Commander-in-Chief is the Martial Law Administrator, who is the Secretary of National Defense. And working with him are several advisors for the areas of Mindanao. A deputy will be doing the administrative, logistics, etc. And the Chief of Staff will be the Chief Implementer for martial law, and under him will be the major area commands, primarily Western Mindanao and Eastern Mindanao Command. And directly supporting will be the Commander of Central Command based in the Visayas, if ever there are requirements that may not be provided or cannot be provided by Eastern Mindanao Command and the Western Mindanao Command. Now, on updates in the operational area, if you will allow me, the focus of operations right now is to clear the city of every terrorist that is still currently in the area. These clearing operations are now being carried out since the other day. And as of 12 midnight last night, I am glad to report to you that we have been able to reach parts of the city which have been held by some of these terrorist elements the past few days. We entered the Bangulo area and in the process neutralized 18 and recovered 5 high-powered firearms, bringing the total number of terrorists killed to 31, and lately the recovery of additional firearms, bringing the total firearms recovered to 11. On the government's part, we were able to also secure the safety of trapped residents of Marawi in Barangay Kilala yesterday. There were 16 civilians who were caught in the middle of this continuous fighting and were safely rescued and provided safe passage to the areas of their destination and to evacuation centers if they did not have any place to go. Our men and women in the armed forces is committed to their mission. And because of this commitment, it is sad that we have to offer lives in order to accomplish that. And yesterday, we lost 6 more and 7 wounded, bringing the total number as of 12 midnight last night to 11 members of the armed forces killed and 2 members of the Philippine National Police, one of whom was an officer who was assigned in the area and who was brutally killed by way of beheading. There are also 39 wounded as of 12 midnight last night, based on the report of JTF Sampelan. Up to this moment, operations are ongoing, and there are still firefights between our forces and those of the terrorists in certain parts of the city. But the objective of our armed forces is to clear the city as the soonest time possible. I am now open for any of your questions.
Sir, good afternoon. Raul Ansel, the Straits Times. Can I just run with you the matter about the presence of foreign terrorists in Marawi? Soja and Kalida also already mentioned that yes, there are Malaysians, Indonesians, and even Singaporeans fighting there now?
Yes, there are certain foreign elements here who have been in the country for a long time, aiding these terrorists in skills related to terrorism, primarily bomb making. You know of Sanusi, who was the religious leader of